What's going on, YouTube? This is Her Collects Comics. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. As always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. I'm doing a special video today. I'm doing a contest entry for Alex the Comic Hoarder. Fantastic YouTube channel. He recently hit 200 subscribers, and so he's doing a contest to celebrate that. And the vibe that I'm getting from this guy is that he really wants to also give back to the folks out there who have subscribed to him. And he's trying to show love to other channels out there, and so he incorporates that kind of good stewardship of the community into his contest, and I really dig that. I wanted to do this last week. I apologize, Alex. Like yourself, you're a father, as am I, and work and kids. I got a little jammed up last weekend, but I'm doing it this morning, Saturday morning, and I'm just gonna. So essentially, Alex wants you guys to talk a little bit about your collecting style. So that's what I'll do here today. Give a little brief overview on some of the things that I collect. I've pulled a few things I want to just briefly talk about. And also want to just go over the rules real quick for his contest. Okay, so I'm going to obviously link to his video. I'll have that in the comment section below so that you guys can go check it out. But I'm just going to also share some of those things here. Basically, number one, make a video and leave a link in the comment section of his video. Be 18 or over, with the exception of Collector 27. He is allowed. And if you watch Collector 27's videos, you will know why. So I'm going to get back to him in a minute. Number three, I'm slightly under the weather, so forgive me. Number three, be subbed to me and all the YouTubers below. I'll read those names in a second. 4, tell me a little bit about who you collect, what your favorite character is, and what you're into. Show some of the stuff that you collect. It can be one item or as many items as you like. And then number 5, give a shout out to YouTube or YouTubers that you think need more subs. So, I'm going to also read the names for the folks that he wants you to sub to as well, because my selection for shout out and YouTubers will be some of these people here. Collector 27 is one of them. He's a young YouTuber who's in school, and it looks like when he's not doing homework, he's reading and collecting comics. And amen to that, brother. So good for you. Also, some of the folks here that he shouts out, Alex that is, and that he wants you to sub to, you'll see those in the comment section of his video, which I'll be linking to. Justin Byers, Dork4, Blackpole, Seeking Near Mint Comics, Leonard Hutchins, 80i Samurai, Count Von Strange, Spaceboy Jordan, Daydreams, and Nightmares. So you need to be subscribed, of course, to Alex, since it's his contest, and he's celebrating 200 subs, but also these folks here that he links to. And, I haven't watched all of these, but I have watched Daydreams and Nightmares. I like his videos. Check him out. And I also want to shout out Spaceboy Jordan, whose video I watched today. This guy, just the first video, it's amazing, this community. First thing that some of the first books that he's showing are books that I'm going to show today as well, characters that I like, one of which was Howard the Duck. So I was, and he's also a Spider-Man fan, so as am I. So Spaceboy Jordan, check out his channel. So definitely, this is a good thing that is going on here, guys, and everyone should be happy to get behind it. So, I collect comic books, obviously. Some of my favorite heroes that I'm going to show to today, and some of my favorite reading material has been Spider-Man, always first and foremost for me. That's where it all started. My father worked in his whole life in New York City, and what he would do on the way home in the Port Authority, he'd stop at one of the newsstands, and he would bring me back Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man comic books. And this was, again, in the late 80s. So, or Amazing Spider-Man. I always remember seeing Peter Parker in the titles, but that was really my first introduction to comic books. So Spider-Man has always been my favorites. Over the years, from the movies, the original 3, to everything that they're doing now, I've always loved Star Wars. I'm not one of those geeky fanboys who only likes the first 3, and they're like, all of the other, because everyone loves to crap on the prequels, pardon me, with Darth Maul and so forth, and Qui-Gon Jinn, so those I enjoy Star Wars, period. I have action figures here, that I got recently this year because it was one of the missing. I collect a lot of Star Wars stuff. But the figures were the ones that were recently missing, so I got some of those that you can see here. I did a separate video for that, and then behind it is Empire Strikes Back carry case that has more figures in it. I'm not going to buy any more figures. I'm not an action figure guy, really, but I've always loved Star Wars, and so that's why I wanted to at least get some of the original Kenner stuff in my collection. But I also love Star Wars comic books, and I'm trying to put together the original run from, started in 1977 and went to issue 1 all the way to issue 103, 104, 105. I forget what that last issue is with, the whole gang and Lando smoking a cigar on the front cover with his little ruffled shirt. I have that graded. I just forget what issue it is. And that's another thing, as far as my collecting style. I collect comic books, but I also love collecting slab books of some of my favorite stories and or covers or artists. I like getting books autographed, signature series. Going to be taking a chill break on that in 2017. Not that I did a lot in 2016, but, just that it's an expensive hobby, getting books autographed and graded, and I have acquired some beautiful things, and I'm content. And so, this year, moving into 2017, toning that back, I got one book out now for Jim Lee Sig, which I'll show a video, of course, when it comes back. But in fact, getting signed today, if I'm not mistaken, in Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. But that's pretty cool. But I'll be just again in moderation. But I love Star Wars books. I'm trying to put together the original run. I'll show some of these off real quick. This is my reader's copy. I have a graded copy of Star Wars #1. So this is my reader's copy. I'm missing issue #2. I have to get that one still. That's a little bit tougher to find, believe it or not, because I think it had a low print run. This is issue #3. You can see here that Chewbacca looks quite different from how we remember him, from the movies and stuff like that. But I enjoyed reading these books in Treasury comic format very, very, very much. Read them many times. This is issue 6 here. I had it out of order. Sorry about that. Issue 4. The beautiful cover here with Darth Vader looming in the background. This is issue 5. The Death Star. And then issue 6. So the Treasury, the first movie was told in these 6 stories. And the Treasury books that I read them in countless times, issue of Volume 1 has the first 3, and Volume 2 has the second 3. So, I love Spider-Man. I love Star Wars, rather, and I love Spider-Man. So I just showed off some of the Star Wars stuff. This is my Star Wars. I'm getting all baffled here. I'm sorry. This is my Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 300, signed by Todd McFarlane, David Michelini, and Stan Lee. 9.8 white pages. I love Spider-Man. This is he's always been my favorite, and I have an entire long box and then some for Spider-Man books only, and many of my slabs are Spider-Man. So, my style is that also, when I have 9 out of 10 times when I have a slabbed copy, I always have a reader's copy, like this book here, which is one of my all-time favorites. This is the first appearance of Casey Jones, and also the first one-shot that Mirage Studios did in 1985, which was a solo story kind of exploring deeper Raphael. It was an oversized book. The other 3 that would follow for the other Turtles were not oversized like this. So this was the first one from 1985, beautiful cover by Kevin Eastman. I have a reader's copy for this. A lot of people, they're like, oh, well, if you have it in the plastic, how do you read it? I mean, how do you entertain such ignorance? Obviously, I have a reader's copy, or I might have read the book 3-4 times, and it means a lot. And then after having read it, I got it graded. I have a book like that in the case like that. And, in fact, this here was, a reader's copy. I bought this book, geez. I don't know, like over 10 years ago from a comic book shop in a small strip mall in Long Island, and I think I paid like $50 for this, $45, and I read it, and, I got it graded, you know. So I also love Treasury comic books. Treasury comic books are a beautiful, beautiful, medium from the 70s. Every now and again you'll see a modern one come up, but really they're not in production anymore. They were about 10 by 12 inches in size. Much bigger than a regular comic book, and they're just more enjoyable reading, in my opinion. I love holding these in my hands. I love the big pages. I love the pages themselves. The kind of material, the stock that was used was slightly thicker than the regular comic book. It's a beautiful thing, So I have a whole box of Treasury books, and I absolutely have many that I haven't read yet, but many I have, like this here. And this has some beautiful stories in here about Howard the Duck. Also, you can see one of the very first story features the Defenders and this oddball group of bad guys that they fight, one of which was named the Spanker, and he was a former preparatory school headmaster who carried a ping pong paddle and was trying to spank these guys here. So it's a great read. Howard Duck is awesome, and Treasury comic books are awesome. So those are some of the things that I love that have always been my favorites. Ninja Turtles, like I showed you with that slab. Spider-Man. Star Wars. I'm trying to put the whole run together in excuse me, folks. I'm trying to put the whole run together for this, and I'd say I'm about halfway there. And then I want to just end with showing you guys one of the things that I've really fallen in love with in 2016, and that is Eric Powell, the Goon. So this is, if there's anything that you take away from this video, it's that if you have not read any of Eric Powell's Goon stuff yet, that you will make a New Year's resolution for 2017 to give this a shot. I just recently finished Volume 1, which is upstairs, and I hope to start this Volume 2 probably later this month. I have some other things that I want to try to catch up in my reading, but I read this first volume. It was fantastic. It's funny. It's very witty. He's a double threat in the fact that he is a great artist, but also a great storyteller. So definitely check out The Goon. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Check out Alex the Comic Hoarder. He has a fantastic channel, and I will link to that in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be back hopefully tonight with another video, as I have the other portion of my Black Friday that just arrived. This was my online haul I did. My last video was my LCS, but this is my small online haul of about 20 some odd books. I'll be back hopefully tonight to do that. So I'll catch you guys down the line.